talk about all these different things. So today we're going to be covering NFTs, and we'll be basically defining it for you. We'll give some examples, and yeah, you guys can follow along and read through with me. So what are NFTs, right? NFTs stand for non-fungible tokens. They are one of the types of cryptographic tokens that can represent ownership of digital scarce goods, such as pieces of art or collectibles. Non-fungible is not a very popular word, so let's see what it really means. Yeah, this is something I get asked a lot about, like so NFTs, non-fungible tokens. Could you define that for me? So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to define this a little bit for you. So, in economics, fungibility is the characteristics of goods or commodities where each individual unit is interchangeable and distinguishable from each other. Like most concepts, fungibility is best explained with an example. So fiat money such as US dollar is a good example of something fungible. If Alice was has a banknote of $5, she can replace her banknote with Bob's $5 banknote without affecting Alice or Bob. On the other hand, Alice's favorite limited edition basketball card is a good example of something non-fungible. Each card is treated as a collectible and has individual properties. A card with one player doesn't usually have the same value as a card with another player. On top of that, even when considering two exactly same cards, other factors such as the year of production or how the card is preserved can make a difference. An extreme example of something non fungible is a piece of art. A painting, for example, is usually created as only one original copy. Now, as we know that non-fungible actually means, let's see what the most common properties of NFTs are. So yeah, so what makes NFTs what they are? You know, you got uniqueness to them. You have provably scarce. So these things are, you know, limited in their in their sort of like collections, and they're indivisible. So let's look into these three things. So unique. How's it unique? Each NFT has different properties that are usually stored in the token metadata. Provably scarce. This is usually a limited number of NFTs with an extreme example of only one copy. The number of tokens can be verified on the blockchain, hence its provability. So yeah, so the blockchain, what the blockchain does is when you look into like a collection of let's say CryptoPunks or Bored Ape Yacht Club, you'll know that they have a limited amount of 1,000 to 2,000 to 5,000 to 10,000 of those. And for each copy, they can be verified on the blockchain. If you're buying off OpenSea on Ethereum mainnet, then on Etherscan you'll be able to find a way to verify those blocks. So that's what makes it that's what gives it value. Indivisible, right? So most NFTs can be split into small denominations, so you cannot buy or transfer a fraction of your NFTs. Similarly to standard tokens, NFTs also guarantee the ownership of the asset, are easily transferable, and are fraud proof. NFTs on Ethereum, right? So ERC721 and ERC1155. That's the sort of layer that you'll find NFTs on Ethereum. Either they're ERC721 that was created by the Ethereum Foundation, or they would be ERC1155, which is the first NFT that was built by Engine, a big good gaming convention, right? So we'll look into Engine later. Although NFTs can be implemented on any blockchain that supports smart contract programming, the most noticeable examples are ERC721 and ERC1155. Before we can get into NFT standards, let's quickly recap what an ERC20 is, right? So ERC20, what is ERC20? ERC20 is a well-known standard for creating tokens on Ethereum blockchain. Some of the examples are stablecoins such as USDT or DAI, and DeFi tokens such as Lend, YFI, SNX, or Uni. ERC20 allows for creating fungible tokens, right? So now we're defining fungible and non-fungible. Fungible tokens. So all of the tokens that were just mentioned are completely indistinguishable. And it doesn't matter if we receive USDT from our friend or from others on the exchange. The value of each token is still the same. To simplify this explanation, we're skipping the possibility of received tainted tokens that would actually make a difference between tokens, making them less fungible. The point is, if it comes with the Alice and Bob sort of theory of like if I give you if I hold 10 uni tokens and you hold 10 uni tokens, there shouldn't be a distinguish between the two because you can use any of the two. But now we're gonna explain why ERC20 is different from ERC721, which is non-fungible. So ERC721 is a common standard uh, for creating non-fungible tokens. ERC721 allows for creating contracts that can be used for creating to create distinguishable tokens with different properties. A common example of this is the famous CryptoKitties. CryptoKitties was the first thing that crashed Ethereum, and I'll never forget it, back in 2017-18. A game that allows for collecting and breeding virtual kittens like a Tamagotchi. So that's the first sort of prefix of what ERC721. So ERC721 is a non-fungible token created by Ethereum Foundation, and CryptoKitties was its first sort of creation. Next up is ERC1155. So ERC1155 is the next step in creating non-fungible tokens. The standard allows for creating contracts that support both fungible and non-fungible tokens, and it was created by Engine, a project focusing on blockchain-based gaming. In many games, such as a World of Warcraft, a player can both hold non-fungible tokens such as swords, shields, armors, and fungible items such as gold or arrows. This standard allows developers to define both fungible and non-fungible tokens and decide how many of these tokens should exist. So yeah, as we basically understand the standards of like fungible and non-fungible, you'll see that games like World of Warcraft and other sort of famous games on PlayStation and Xbox, they'll surely in the near future be using things like non-fungible tokens to basically give these things value, things like swords, shields, and armors. And then fungible items, things like USDT, stable coins, or their native token, which a lot of play to earn projects are doing. You'll see them be defined as they sort of structure the game. So this is where the new earning modules are going to go into these sort of non-fungible echelons. Now let's talk a little bit about the NFT space, right? So what is the NFT space all about? So besides the already mentioned CryptoKitties, there are a few other fairly popular game leveraging the power of NFTs, such as Gods Unchained and Decentraland. So Gods Unchained was a pre-sale that Cobras got into, and basically, as these sort of games get developed, so do the value of these NFTs. So the Gods Unchained was one thing. CryptoKitties we covered just previously was the first sort of like NFT project on Ethereum, and it was the first thing to crash Ethereum's mainnet back then. And then we have Decentraland, which is big use case, big utility. It's a whole metaverse of possibilities. So these are a few different projects. So Decentraland is an interesting example, as the players are able to buy parcels of digital land that can later can later be resold or used as advertising space within the game. So yeah, in Decentraland, what you're able to do is you're actually allowed to basically buy some land, and you'll see currently on Decentraland, Gucci and Samsung and big sort of commodities have started to like buy into the land and start building their spaces there. So yeah, in the near future, if you own some land on Decentraland, you'll be able to provide advertising space for other games or for other big merchandise galores like Gucci and stuff. So you'll be able to allow other companies to use your space, use your NFT land to basically advertise on their behalf. So other examples include marketplaces, right? So marketplaces are places where we can buy these NFTs from, like Rari, Super Rari, and OpenSea. Other examples include marketplaces such as Rarible, Super Rari, and even aggregators of marketplaces like OpenSea. Yet another example of something scarce can be represented as NFTs are domain names. So domain names is a new thing that we're basically looking into. Like right now, you see like a lot of celebrities are changing their names from like Shaq.soul, Shaquille O'Neal to Shaq.soul, and soon enough we'll be doing the same thing with our wallets. We'll be doing the same thing with our sort of domain names and websites, and that's another sort of rarity that NFTs can bring. So let's keep on reading. Yet another example of something scarce that can be represented as NFTs are domain names. For example, Ethereum naming services as with .eth extensions and unstoppable names with .crypto. So these are the things that we'll see. If you are sort of a person that buys domain names, do buy all the .eth ones and the .crypto ones, because soon they'll be worth quite a bit. So I hope that kind of like explains what NFTs are a little bit, and then you guys can understand their mechanisms. I also think it's important to understand its use cases. So let's kind of read from this passage here, and then we can see how NFTs are basically, outlined in DeFi, in decentralized finance. So some of the NFTs can be extremely costly. The most expensive CryptoKitty Dragon was sold for 600 Ethereums at the end of 2017, worth around $170. Scarce domains such as exchanges.eth can be worth upwards of 500k. Right? NFTs and DeFi. When it comes to DeFi, NFTs can unlock even more potential for decentralized finance. Currently in DeFi, the vast majority of DeFi lending protocols are collateralized. So we're going to learn about like some use cases here. We're going to be learning like NFTs are not just artworks, but they also have many sorts of interoperable asset classes. So you can use them to swap and use them for commerce. You can use them as a borrowing and lending mechanism on synthetic models in DeFi. And yeah, so let's read a little bit about this. So this means that now you'd be able to supply an NFT representing a piece of art, digital land, or even tokenized real estate as collateral and borrowing money against it. This sounds cool, but there is the problem. In our standard lending and borrowing DeFi platforms such as Compound and Aave, the value of supplied collaterals can be easily measured by integral price oracles. These aggregates price from multiple liquid sources such as centralized and decentralized exchanges. When it comes to NFTs, the markets for particular tokens are often illiquid, which makes the price discovery process tricky. So what they're basically saying is, if you were to buy a CryptoKitty for 10 ETH and you would use a collateral loan of 50% LTV, the same thing on a centralized exchange would be hard to basically value. So this is the sort of issue with NFTs right now, where we have sort of illiquid and liquid assets, and especially if you use like synthetic models like borrowing, it can cause a small little issue. But we're getting better at that. We're basically explaining that in much more like we're sort of like there's things like Chainlink. There's big projects that are working on this problem as we speak. So NFTs can be used as loans, can be used as a sort of like an initial payment structure. Soon enough, we'll be using it to buy real estate. We'll be using it to basically get our tickets to like a concert or a sports game, and it's gonna have many different uses. So let's summarize it here. With over 100 millions of dollars worth of NFTs traded, the NFT space is one of the fastest growing niches in crypto and has huge potential, ranging from digital kittens to complex financial products. So yeah, I hope that kind of defines cryptocurrencies a tiny bit. if you guys want to know about OpenSea, do check out OpenSea. This is one of the biggest marketplaces, and now they've integrated Solana as well. So you can use Solana to buy these NFTs. And yeah, Tripinate Tribe, huh? Other deed for other site, or the yacht clubs. These are the kind of projects that are doing the best right now on the ranks. So yeah, that's NFTs, guys. Thank you for listening to that. I'm gonna stop this now. Thank you.